the white shorts. His first fight for nearly 3 months. His first as the European champion. His first against a welterweight, and that welterweight is a pretty useful man by my reckoning, Mario Guilloti, who comes in here as the third choice against Green. There have been 2 previous opponents, both pulled out, and now we get Mario Guilloti, who happens to be ranked in the top 20 of the world's welterweights. Comes from Argentina, now based in Italy, and I last saw him in Mexico City in the 1968 Olympic Games, where he won a bronze medal. And he's got a pretty useful professional career, numbering some 48, 49 fights, and only 3 men so far have beaten him. His record shows him to be strong, durable, and quite capable of taking care of himself against good opposition. And he looks to me like an altogether tough proposition for Green in his first fight against a welterweight. And Green is conceding 3 pounds in weight, 10 stone 5.5 against Guilloti's 10 8.5. The one thing against Guilloti is his age. He's now 30 years old. Green is 23. Also Green's first fight since he was voted Britain's best young boxer of 1976 by the British Boxing Writers Club. Crouching style, just as I remember him from Mexico. I marked him down then as a man who liked to come in with hooks from behind a crouch, and he doesn't seem to have changed. Good ripping right hand there from Green. Guilloti stung into retaliation, red in the face, taken a few Green punches in this opening round. Green's kept on top of him. First round to Green. 23 years old, the young man from Chatteris in Cambridgeshire, the new European light welterweight champion, added of course to his British title. And he won that European title just about 3 months ago, forcing the Frenchman Jean-Baptiste Piedvache to retire after 9 rounds. He's now had 22 professional fights, and he's won the lot, and 18 of those opponents have not gone the distance. This audience has gone very quiet in the Albert Hall. There's a lot of Green supporters here, as you'd expect, from Cambridgeshire. The young man's got a big fan club in rural Cambridgeshire. And it's just a little bit quiet because everybody now knows that he's got a job on hand. Guilloti getting the signal from Sid Nathan to mind his head. Green catching him with full-blooded punches to the head and occasionally to the body. Guilloti can take them. Punches that would knock over a light welterweight don't knock over a welter.
Head up.
Just when you think you might be getting the man in trouble, then suddenly he pops up and throws a few punches at you. Still full of life. It's probably just as well that Green's had the 3 months layoff to prepare himself for this. Green winning the points. This is going to test Green's stamina and determination to the full. He's got to work hard to stay on top of this man. And if he ever lets Guilloti really off the hook, Guilloti could be very, very dangerous. Trickle of blood from Green's nose.
Half to go. There we go. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
So Green wins another round, but he worked again hard for it, and he's going to have to keep that sort of pressure on top of Guilloti all the way. Now 2 rounds to go. Be interested to see whether Guilloti can mount any sort of sustained attacks now that he knows he hasn't got to go too far. 6 minutes of fighting left. Green still taking the initiative as he has all through the fight. Still throwing plenty of punches with both hands. He's taken 1 or 2 tonight, Green as well. Taking them well.
Double them, Dave. Double them, double them. Let the left hand down. Let the left hand down, right? Left hand down, folks. Push it back, Dave.
Green has done an enormous amount of work and just beginning to show signs of strain. Not quite so fluent as he was before. A little wild and suffering for it. Those classic encounters, the young champion, newly crowned, and the old campaigner, the sort of man you've got to get by if you want to go on up.
Body, come on. Body, David, go with them.
I think Green is very, very tired at this point. Not much behind the punches. He's hardly throwing a decent punch now, Green. And Guilloti's throwing plenty. And for the first time in this fight, Guillotti's slightly got the upper hand. Got the upper hand now. So those 2 to the head. And for the first time, Green looks in a bit of trouble. The 9th. And there's every sign now that these remaining few minutes are going to be very desperate ones indeed for Green. He's dead tired, Green. Give that round to Guilloti, and I make that the first one he's won. And so with 3 minutes to go, Dave Green, the European light welterweight champion, hoping to get a fight against John H. Tracy for big money, now finds himself with 3 very, very hard minutes to get by if he wants to come out on top. The last round. Green, who's done all the work, kept on top until those last 3 minutes. Now can he keep on top for the remainder of what has become for him a rather hard and desperate fight? It's not just this fight, it's the thought of the one against Tracy being dangled before him for really big money. If he were to lose this, then all that would go up in smoke. Green well out in front, a mile out in front on points, but tiring with every second. And the 30-year-old Argentinian looking at his liveliest now. Can recklessly expend energy now, Guilloti, knowing that he's only got another 2 minutes to fight. A minute's interval has done Green a lot of good. And Green has resumed authority in the last round. Nothing can stop Green winning this now except some terrible calamity. We're in the closing minute. Guilloti will mount some attacks, he always does in the last minute. The Green looks quite capable now of withstanding anything that comes his way. Fascinating fight this has been. Green's first venture against a fully fledged welterweight, against a good, experienced man. Had to work for every point. And at one moment in the 9th round, looked as though he might be in a bit of serious trouble, but he weathered it well. And he's won this last round by a long way, Green. And he's won the fight by a long way as well, on my card. And he's proved himself against a good welterweight. There's the bell. What a good fight that was, and what an opponent Guilloti was, coming in at the last moment. And Sid Nathan waits for all the excitement to die a moment, and Green, for the first time in my recollection, gets booed for a win. The crowd liked the class of Guilloti. They liked his style. He didn't win it. Not by a mile did he win it. But there's a marvellous performance from a 30-year-old veteran who was brought in at the last 48 hours to meet Green. So 4 marks to the pair of them, Guilloti and Green. And the signs are now that Green will go on to a very, very well-played fight indeed with John H. Tracy, who was here tonight to see Green win. And I wonder what he thought about it.